Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. So, in the previous class, mic volume mattu konja yekka. In the previous class, we completed up to, correct, shloka number 21, right? Prajapatihi was the last nama that we saw, which was nama number 197. So, we move on to shloka number 22. I understand that there are quite a few summaries that I have to clear. So, it will be cleared and it will be sent out during this week. Please repeat once after me. Amrutuh Sarvadrik Simhah Sandhata Sandhiman Sthirah Ajah Durmarshana Shasta Vishrutatma Surari. This 22nd shloka has 11 namas. There are a few rare shlokas here, not rare, but they come once in a while, which contain like 11 namas, 12 namas. There are quite a few shlokas in Vishnu Sahasranamam which has so many namas in just one shloka. So, this is one such shloka with 11 namas. From nama number 198 to 208 is covered in this 22nd shloka. 198th nama is Amrutuh. Amrutuh means one who is not subjected to death or any cause of death. Mrityuh vinashaha tad hetuhu va asya na vidyata iti amrutyuh. Shankara gives the commentary on this nama Amrutuh. This is what just we saw. So, Mrityuh meaning death, vinashaha, tat hetuhu va or its cause, asya na vidyata iti, one who is not subjected to both death or cause of death. Anything that is part of this created world is subjected to change and eventually death or decay. It comes to an end, right? Because all of them are bound by time. They were all created in time, therefore they go away in time. Whereas Bhagavan, he does not have death. He is not subjected to death at all, vinasha at all. Why? Because what causes death? Let's consider the death of human beings or any other living being. Shastra calls every living being as jiva, and a jiva assumes body, a particular type of body, because of the past karmas, right? So, the body that a jiva gets is brought about by his past karma. Now, Ishvara cannot be subjected to death because it is not that he had some karma and therefore he assumed a body, right? Therefore, he does not have any karma, therefore he is not limited or restricted to any body, and therefore he is not subjected to death. He is the formless, the attributeless Chaitanya Swarupam, which is not subjected to time or space. Here space is not in the context, which is not subjected to time. Because he is not subjected to time, he is not limited by time, therefore, he does not have any of the Shad Vikaras, the 6 forms of modifications. Asti, Jayate, Vardate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate and Vinashyati. Asti is Garbhavasa, Jayate is birth, Asti Jayate, Vardate, Vardate is growth, Viparinamate, Viparinamate is modification or any changes, Apakshiyate, Apakshiyate means decaying or what do you call degeneration of your indriyas and everything. And finally, Vinashyati, Vinashyati is death. Since he does not have karma, he does not have karma phala also. Therefore, he is Amrutyuhu, that is the 198th nama. 199, Sarvadrik. This word also appears in Mandukya Karika, Sarvadrik. Shankara says, Sarva prani krita kritam pashyati swabhavikena bodhena iti sarvadrik. Sarvam pashyati iti sarvadrik. The one who sees everything is the all-seer. He sees everything. He sees the action of all the pranis, of all the jivas. That is how he is able to give the karma phala of all the jivas. So, when when we were children, we were told that Bhagavan is always watching you. Be good. Okay? So, Bhagavan is watching you. You can't cover something like this and do a mistake. He is still watching. Okay? You can't escape his eyes. So, if Bhagavan, if the real God is formless, bodiless, indriyaless, then where are the eyes for him to see? How does he see? He doesn't have eyes at all. How does he see? Is he still Sarvadrik? Yes, he is still Sarvadrik. So, how does he see without eyes? Can somebody see without eyes? Yes, Bhagavan can see without eyes also. How? Shankara says, Swabhavikena bodhena iti Sarvadrik. He does not require eyes, a pair of eyes to see you. Swabhavikena bodhena. Naturally, he has all knowledges. He has the knowledge of the actions, the karma of all the pranis. Therefore, he is Sarvadrik. That is 199. 200th nama is Simhah. This also occurs for one more time as the 488th nama. Here 200 and then 488. Here, now Simhah, we are used to hearing the expression where the word Simha means lion, right? Where you use this word figuratively. You say he is the lion. He is a lion. You don't need to say he is like a lion. You just say he is a lion, right? So, which itself means he is lion-like, right? He is the king. He is powerful. So, Ishvara is, when we speak about the lion, what are the qualities of the lion that you understand? You remember the way it walks. It is fearless, and no one needs to say that it is the king. You don't need to introduce to other animals that, see, look, the king of the jungle is coming, right? So, you don't need to say. He is Swayameva Mrigendrada. Just by his presence, everybody knows he is the king, right? And he is absolutely fearless. in the same way, Bhagavan is the fearless king of all. Hinasti smaranamatrena samasta papan iti Simhah. Shankara says, etymologically, Simhah means the one who destroys. Hinasti, the one who destroys. If Bhagavan is the destroyer, what does he destroy? Samasta papan iti Simhah. Samasta papan. He destroys all the papas of his bhaktas. What kind of bhaktas? What does the bhakta has to do to have Bhagavan remove all their papas? Smarana matrena. Just if you remember him, that is enough. You might not have the physical ability to sit and do Shodasha Upachara Puja. You may not have the physical ability to trek Chardham Yatra. Still, if you just remember him from wherever you are, you know, there are beautiful shlokas that Shankara writes. There is one shloka called Dvadasha Jyotirlinga shloka, where he has written one shloka for every Jyotirlinga, and there is a smaller version available where just the names of all the 12 Jyotirlinga comes. Saurashtre Somanatancha Shri Shaile Mallikarjunam Ujjayinyam Mahakalam Omkaram Amaleshwaram Paralyam Vaidyanatancha Dakinyam Bhima Shankaram Setubandhetu Ramesham Nagesham Darukavane Varanasyam tu Vishvesham Trayambakam Gautami Tate Himalaye tu Kedaram Gushmeshancha Shivalaye. These are the 12 names, just the 12 name and the name of the place. And finally Shankara says, Etani Jyotirlingani Sayam Pratah Patennaraha Sapta Janma Kritam Papam Smaranena Vinashyati. He says, if there is any one person who can just remember these 12 Jyotirlingas, just bring to his memory Bhagavan who has manifested in these 12 Jyotirlingas, and just by the mere remembrance, not papas of today or yesterday or last year, Sapta Janma Kritam Papam. Sapta Janma, last 7 Janmas, whatever papa you did, has to be human birth only, okay? Because no other Janma is capable of committing papa. Only exhausting papa is available, right? So, Sapta Janma Kritam Papam, how does it go? Smaranena. Wow. You don't need to do anything else, right? So wonderful. You remember and it is gone. Therefore, how does this go away? All the papas, what is the strength that washes away all these papas? It is the strength of Bhagavan, because he is Simhah. He is the one who can wash away all the samasta papan hinasti nashayati iti Simhah. That is the 200th nama. 201. Sandhata. Sandhata. Shankara says, karma palaihi purushan sandatta iti sandhata. That is the one who connects the jiva to his karma pala. Now, for this connection to happen, if a jiva has to experience a set of karma pala, karmas are plenty, right? There are infinite number of karmas in one jiva's account, right? Of that, if he has to experience certain number of, say, X number of karmas, and to experience those karmas, experience can only happen through a body. Without body, you cannot have any experience. Therefore, he has to be given a body which is suitable for the experience of those karmas. And for experiencing those kind of karmas, if he needs a particular type of body, then accordingly the parentage, the family, the environment, the brought up, everything comes to place. Right? So, the entire setup where one is born, the kind of body, the complexion, the parentage, the kind of father I am blessed with, the mother, the siblings, the house, the city where I am born, the culture where I am born, the language I speak, the food that I eat, my schooling, my college, my neighborhood, my friends, just everything, the office where I am working. Right? Or if I am given to a situation where I don't work at all, whatever be the case, right? So, whatever is the setup, it is all given by Ishvara for one to experience his karma phala. And now this is not just for one jiva, right? Even if you take the case of one jiva, now karma alone cannot give the result automatically because karma is inert. There has to be an intelligent being who brings about the connection between the jiva and his karma phala. Has to be, because there has to be somebody who must decide as to what kind of body, parentage, environment, setup has to be there for a jiva to experience the X number of karmas. Right? There has to be an intelligent being. It cannot happen automatically by any inert thing like karma. And this is not for just one jiva. This is for infinite number of jivas. The karma, the body, everything has to be planned and it has to be brought about. Therefore, Bhagavan can only do this. If all these things have to fall in place, then there has to be one super intelligent being who is able to bring about this. Because just it is not just that, a connection between I do something and something happens because of that. There are a lot more things that are connected. I do something and something happens, and that happens to somebody else, right? Or I do something because of which along with me some more people also suffer, and they suffer because it is also in their karma. Therefore, there is a lot of connection that is required, and I mean, if you can just think of how all these things work, it is really difficult, even to visualize something like this, to bring about all these things together, and he doesn't make any mistake at all. He doesn't make any mistake. So, this can happen only by Bhagavan. And therefore, he is the one who brings about the connection between the jiva and every jiva's karma phala. Sandhata, Sandhattaha. He is the one who connects the jiva with the karma palai. Karma palaihi purushan sandhattaha iti Sandhata, the super connector. And he connects it appropriately. He doesn't connect some other person's karma with me and my karma with somebody else. No, there is nothing gets messed up. Everything is in order. Sandhata. 202. Sandhiman. Now to bring about the connection, now he brings about the connection that we saw, he is Sandhata. What about the person who enjoys the karma phala, who is given to the karma phala, and the very connection itself is that different from Bhagavan? Are these two things different from Bhagavan? Bhagavan is the connector. What about the connection and the person who is, the beneficiary of the connection? that is also Bhagavan. Shankara says, Phala Bhokta cha eva iti Sandhiman. Bhagavan is also the Jiva who is the enjoyer of the karma phala. Karma phala Bhokta is also Bhagavan. Therefore, he is Sandhiman. And he is not only the karma phala Bhokta, he is also all the connections. See, he is the one who enables the connection. He is the one who is the beneficiary or the enjoyer, the karma phala Bhokta of the connection. And he is also the very connection itself. If you take this universe, there are various connections. There are just various connections. As even I speak, when we utter the word, say, ah, in Sanskritam, and you also have the system in Tamil, I am sure you have it in other Indian languages also, the place from where you utter the word is different, right? Whether you utter from the throat, you utter from the tongue, from the lips, from the teeth, from the palate, there are various sthanas from which the letters, the sound is originated, right? Also, when I say ah, the sound is ah. Whoever says ah, the sound is ah, but the voice is different, right? Voice is because of that person's vocal cords, right? So therefore, there is a connection between the voice and the sound. And again, there is a connection between the sound and the sthana from where the sound originates. When we say ah, it is different from ka, which is different from ha, which is different from dha, which is different from pa, right? So the sound is different. There is a difference between the sound and the sthana also. And there is a connection between the sound and the sthana. And again, saying ah and saying ah, there is an effort that is required to make more sound or to reduce the sound, right? Therefore, there is a connection between the sound and the effort. Just with sound, I am just saying this, with making a sound, a simple basic sound ah, so many things are involved, so many connections are involved. In the entire universe, everything is connected. There are connections everywhere. There is connection between the sun and the plants. There is connection between the plant kingdom and us. There is connection between us and the water. Everything is connected. Everything has a cycle, and everything there is a connection. This universe is full of connection, and those connections are so orderly done. And Bhagavan is in the form of all these connections. Without connections, the entire universe will collapse. There cannot be a universe without connections. And therefore, Bhagavan is the connector, he is the connection, and he is also the one who is the enjoyer of all the connections. He is Sandhata and he is Sandhiman. 203. Sthirah. Sthirah. Sthirah means Sada Ekarupatvat Sthirah. He is constant and he is also changeless. Just like the hub or the fulcrum, the hub of the wheel doesn't change. The wheel keeps on moving, the hub doesn't move. It is called Kutasthaha. It doesn't move. It lends itself for a change to take place, but it by itself does not change. It doesn't undergo any change. Yesterday in the Mandukya Vichara, Ramji spoke about Drishta Nashta Swabhavaha. I don't know whether you remember he saying this. Drishta Nashta Swabhava. It means as even I see something, it keeps changing. Drishta nashta swabhava. Scientists research on so many things, so many aspects of this universe, and as and when they research, the object of research keeps changing. Because it is subjected to change, it keeps changing. Therefore, their research undergoes change, their knowledge has to change, right? Therefore, any object knowledge is subjected to constant change. And once it changes, the knowledge that you already have is no more relevant, and therefore you have to update your knowledge. You have to research it once again and you have to gain the knowledge out of it again. Whereas Atma Jnana is not subjected to any change, because Atma is Sthirah. It is not subjected to any modification. The Atma Jnana that Rishi Vashishta gained was the same as how Bhagavan Vedavyasa gained, and that was the same Atma Jnana that Shankara Bhagavatpada gained, and that was the same jnana that all the rishis and acharyas in this parampara until my guru gained, and that is the same jnana that you gain. There is no difference. The Atma Jnana that Ishvara has is the same Atma Jnana that you will have. It cannot be there cannot be a difference. Therefore, what Ishvara knows about himself as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the same Atma Jnana that you will have about yourself as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Therefore, he is Sthiraha Sada Ekarupatvat, not subjected to any change. 204. Ajah. Ajah totally comes for 3 times. It occurs 3 times in Vishnu Sahasranama. We have already seen this as the 95th Nama. Here it occurs as the 204th Nama and later on as 521st Nama. In 95, the meaning of Ajah that we saw was the one who is not born. Ajah, Janma Rahitaha is Ajah. Here, Ajah, Shankara says, Ajati Gacchati iti Ajah. It is derived from the sense of Gamanam, movement. The one who does not move. Sorry. Ajati Gacchati, the one who moves. Ajati means Gacchati, the one who moves. Taittiriya Upanishad says, where does he move? Can be the question. Taittiriya Upanishad, when in Brahmanandavalli, when it talks of Srishti Prakaranam, it says, Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupravishat. He enters into the heart of every jiva. He created the bodies and he entered the bodies. He entered the heart of every being. And because he entered only, they are called being. Otherwise, they would be things. Right? He entered them. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. So he enters. I obtain. Bhagavan says, I obtain in the heart of every living being. It is me who is in everybody's heart. Right? Whether you really love Bhagavan or not, he is the one who fills your heart. So Bhagavan says, please recognize that. Now, how does the 7th chapter begin? Arpit? The first shloka of 7. Mai asakta manaha. Mai asakta manaha. Fill me in your heart. Recognize that I only fill your heart. And this filling is by recalling the nature of Bhagavan, by remembering the nature of Bhagavan, by appreciating the nature of Bhagavan. That is what he said, fill me in your heart. And he is already the one who fills my heart in the form of consciousness. That is 204, Ajah. 205, Durmarshanaha. Durmarshanaha, Shankara says, Marshitum na shakyate iti durmarshanaha. Marshitum na shakyate. He cannot be stopped by anyone. Nobody can stop him with respect to his great deeds. What are his great deeds? Srishti, whether Srishti or Laya or Sthiti, be it anything. Nobody can stop Bhagavan from creating this universe. Nobody can stop Bhagavan from resolving this universe. He is Durmarshanaha. 206, Shasta. Shasta. This word is often referred to Sabarimalai Ayyappan. Shasta. Shankara says, Shasanakarta Shasta. Shasanam means a mandate, right? The one who maintains the cosmic law and order. Shasanakarta. The one who makes the law. The author of the Shasana. What is the Shasanam? Dharma. When a human being, there is no problem with other living beings. They don't cross the border, right? A cow is always a cow. It eats, what does cow eat? What does the cow eat? It's a vegetarian, right? It does not opt for non-veg, or it does not opt for any frozen food which it can reheat and eat. The lion doesn't say, let us, hit a couple of more animals and we refrigerate them so that, we can have a very lazy weekend. We already have food in the fridge so that we don't have to go around hunting and searching for food. Doesn't say, I'm so bored of eating bear flesh every day, just toast it for me with some butter and add some, some spices or some garnishing and give it, make it different. It doesn't happen with. All these things happen with one being because this being is bestowed with something called the will, which is unique to human beings alone. Therefore, there has to be some inner mechanism which the humans have to be given because he is capable of abusing his will, right? The free will is so free that one can even abuse it. What is that mechanism, that internal control mechanism that every human being is already programmed with? That is called dharma. Nobody needs to tell you that robbing is not good, telling lies is not good, hurting others is not good. Even a robber, even a thief knows that stealing from somebody is not good, right? And they make an agreement. If there are more than a group of robbers, they have an agreement. Toil dharma. They agree that they have to share the proceeds that they, they hack between themselves in some manner. And somebody breaks it, they get angry because they don't want to be cheated, though their job is only about cheating, right? So, everybody knows. Who doesn't know? Therefore, no one needs to be taught of what dharma is. They already know it because they don't want something to happen to them and they want a set of things that should happen to them. All these good things should happen to me and all these bad things should not happen to me. People should behave with me in this manner and people should not behave with me in this manner. Simple. That is called Samanya Dharma. What Shastram tells is you should also behave that way only with others, right? So, the entire society is maintained with this order because every human being is programmed this way. Therefore, one has a fear in crossing the border, in going beyond his limits, because he knows that he is wrong. He knows he is wrong, but he makes a choice to abuse his will. Therefore, where one goes against this dharma, this cosmic order, he picks up a guilt in his mind. He knows he is wrong, and because of the conflict that is created internally, he picks up a guilt, and he also picks up something more invisible, which is called papam, which is the result of his karma. And how does it fructify? It fructifies as unpleasant situations or some painful experiences in the future. Therefore, the lesson is dharma cannot be bypassed, and dharma is of two types we know. One is samanya dharma, and which we just saw that no one needs to be taught about samanya dharma. Atmanah pratikulani paresham na samacharet. That is samanya dharma. That which should not happen to me, I should not do to others, right? Which I think should not happen to me. So, this is already given to everybody. And Vishesha Dharma, how does one know what is my Vishesha Dharma? What is my Dharma as per my Varna and Ashrama? For that you have a whole set of literature called Purana, Itihasa, Smriti Granthas, everything, which teaches us as to what Vishesha Dharma is. Therefore, he is Shasta who makes the mandate to govern the entire universe that is created. Shasta, that is the 206th Nama. 207th Nama, Vishrutatma. Vishrutatma, one who is Swarupa or whose nature is Visheshena Shrutaha, especially heard through the words of Shruti, where Shruti provides the Lakshana of Brahma. For example, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma. Shankara gives this example in his commentary. He says, Satya Jnanadi Lakshanaha. So, wherever Brahma Lakshana is given, those are the places where Bhagavan's Swarupa is heard through the Shruti. Vivida Vakyaihi Shrutaha. Through various Shruti Vakyams, we hear. So, the one whose Nama is so heard, he is called Vishrutatma. 208. Surariha. Surarinam Nihantritvat Surariha. The one who is the destroyer of the enemies of all the Devatas. Who are the enemies of Devatas? Asuras, Rakshasas. Devatas are the group of Jivas who are given to Dharma, and their enemies, be it the Asuras or the Rakshasas, they are the ones who are given to Adharma. So, what does Bhagavan do? There are various stories in the Purana when we talk of this. We only are aware of Narakasura and Mahishasura. That's all we know. There are so many stories of Asura Vadam, right? Whether it is Sura Samharam in the south, or you talk of Shumba Nishumba Vadam, you talk of Ravana Vadam, so many, Kamsa Chanura Mardanam. You take anything. In Narasimha Avatara, it was Hiranyakashipu. All these asuras, if you know the story of Vritrasura, who was a very, very bad demon, He was torturing all the human beings, and he had a boon from Brahma that he cannot be killed with any inert object, any inert weapon. Right? So, there was no way he could be killed in the war between Deva and Asura, and therefore he was simply invincible, and they need to make a weapon which is not made of any wood or steel, the definition, that is how he would have defined in his boon. It should not be made of wood, it should not be made of steel, it should not be made of iron, it should not be made of gold, like that. No, there has to be a weapon which is not made of all these things, but it should be a weapon. It should be strong enough to pierce into his body and kill him, right? So, what was the only way? The only way was human bone. That is where the conclusion would come, and then they would approach, and it should be the bone of somebody who is as strong or as hard as diamond, which is sharp enough to kill the Asura. Therefore, all of them, according to the guidance of Maheshwara, would approach Maharishi Dadichi, who is a great tapasvi, and they say, Devendra would say, we need your help, and Dadichi would sacrifice his body to make the weapon to kill Vritrasura. And the weapon that is made out of Dadichi's backbone was called Vajrayudha, because Maharishi Dadichi had that boon that every bone of him will be as strong or as hard as the diamond. Therefore, it is called Vajrayudha. And with Vajrayudha, Vritrasura was killed. Therefore, Bhagavan is the one who will help you out in killing all the demons. Now, where do we have the demons today? Somebody said, in the Krita Yuga, there were two lokas. You had the Deva Loka, where the Devatas lived, and the Asura Loka, where the Asuras or the demons lived. And in Treta Yuga, both were there in Bhuloka. Rama lived in Bhuloka, Ravana was also in Bhuloka. In Dwapara Yuga, both were there in the same family. You had the Pandavas and the Dhartarashtras, and this is Kali Yuga. Therefore, both are there in every human being. This is why Krishna has already given out the Daivi Sampat and the Asuri Sampat. He has already spoken about that. So, in every human being, in each and every person, there are a set of good things and there are a set of bad things. And this bad has to be destroyed because it is not good for you. Right? Therefore, who destroys this? Bhagavan is the one who destroys. How does Bhagavan, okay, all right, I will keep doing what I am doing and Bhagavan will come and destroy all the bad? No, that will not happen. Even if, Devas had to fight the demons, they had to pray, they had to take effort, and Bhagavan blesses them. In the same way, where I have to win over my Asuri Sampat, I have to pray and I have to take effort accordingly. Only then Bhagavan will bless. Bhagavan will bless, will help only those people who will help themselves. Bhagavan will not come and write the exam for you. I have to study, I have to take efforts, I have to work hard, I have to go and write the exam. Right? Then Bhagavan will bless me. It is much the same way. Therefore, he is Surariha. With that, the 22nd shloka is over. Now we go to the 23rd shloka. Please repeat once after me. Gurur Gurutah modama Satya Satya Parakramaha Nimisho Nimishasragvi Vachaspatirudaradhihi. 209. Okay. This 23rd shloka has totally 9 namas starting from 209 to 217. 209. Guruhu. Guruhu means, Shankara says, Samasta Vidyanam Upadeshtritvat Guruhu. He is the one who is the teacher of every discipline. Any knowledge originated from Bhagavan alone. He is the only source of all knowledges. And what is more special of all knowledges is the two important knowledges. Krinati Upadishati Dharma Brahma Swarupam iti Guruhu. He is the one who teaches the Dharma. He is also the one who is the teacher of Brahma or Mahavakya Upadesha Karta, which is the greatest of all knowledges. Dharma Jnanam is very important. Of all Aparavidya, what is more important is Dharma Jnanam and the Paravidya, which is Brahma Jnanam. He is the one who teaches both. Guruhu. That is 209. 210. Guruttamaha. Uttamaha. Guruhu Uttamaha. Guruttamaha. The one who is the most exalted or the greatest of all teachers. Shankara says, Virinchadinamapi Brahma Vidya Sampradayakatvat Guruttamaha. You have your teacher, and your teacher is a teacher because of his teacher. And that teacher is the teacher because of his teacher. His teacher, and then his teacher, his teacher, his teacher. Finally, you have the entire parampara that originates from Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam. Or if you are not a fan of Sadashiva, you can say Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtam Shaktincha Tatputra Parasharancha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sashyam Shri Shankaracharya Matasya Shri Shankaracharya Madasya Padmapadancha Hastamalakancha Sishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakaramanyat Asmat Gurun Santatam Anatosmi. He is the one who created Brahma. Yo Brahmanam Vidadadi Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagumhadevam Atma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. For those who think this mantra is familiar, it occurs in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Okay, that is for the Upanishad students. So he is the one who created Brahmaji and who taught him the knowledge, right, of what? Of all Paravidya and Aparavidya. Most importantly, Paravidya. And from Brahmaji, we have this great tradition flowing on up to my Guru. This is what this mantra from Shvetashvatara Upanishad says. And such a great tradition we have. And this tradition, this parampara, passes on the knowledge through a specific methodology because it is communicating something that cannot be communicated with words. That which words itself are incapable of revealing have to be communicated. There is no other way. Therefore, this parampara uses a very peculiar method of teaching, which is again taught by Bhagavan and which is again in the Upanishads, hidden in the Upanishads. That is called Sampradaya. And all the Acharyas here are Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyaha. Vamsharishibhyaha Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvo Paplavarahita Prajnanaganaha Pratyakarto Brahmaivahamasmi. This is a verse written by Adi Shankaracharya in his introductory bhashyam to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. He says, through this Sampradaya, all the Acharyas have taught that you are Brahma, the Mahavakya, and just the way they have understood, we also understand in the same way. This is what it says. So that is Guruttamaha. 211th Nama, Dhama. Dhama has two meanings. Dhama means Jyotihi, and Dhama also means Sarva Kamanam Aspadatvatva Dhama. The first thing is Jyoti Swarupaha, Swayam Prakasha Swarupaha, Chaitanya Swarupaha. Therefore, Dhama means the self-effulgent consciousness. Narayana Paro Jyotihi, Narayana Suktam. And the other meaning of Dhama is abode or resting place. Sarva Kamanam Aspadatva. Gaining which abode or gaining which destination, there is nothing more to gain. There is nothing more to desire. Where all desires, gaining which, it is as though all desires are fulfilled, all kamas are fulfilled. That abode is Parandhamaha. And we have this shloka in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. Natad bhasayate suryaha, nashashanko napavakaha, yadgatvana nivartante, tad dhama paramam mama. I am the final abode. I am the resting place of all. Parandhamaha aham. That is the 211th Nama, Dhama. We will see the other namas in the next class. It's already time up. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om. We have the announcement regarding next class. According to the timetable, we have class on Sunday morning US time, right? Next Sunday morning, do we have class in the schedule? Yes. So, we will have class, next class will be next Sunday morning, and then another class on Sunday evening, right? US time, right? Which is Sunday evening India time and Monday morning India time, okay? We will have class next week, and the week after that we may not have class because I will have to travel again to Uttarakashi and Gangotri. This is as part of the Samaroh of the 4-year course of the first batch of Brahma Vidya Mandir students. So, they have invited me for their Samaroh function, and I will have to go there to attend the function, and therefore, I will not be available over the weekend of the week after the upcoming weekend. Okay. So, the upcoming weekend we will have class. The week after that we will not have class. Again the week after we will resume as per schedule. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.